You're live.
So I get a lot of people asking me all the time in emails, what do they need to look out for when buying a used piece of equipment? So I'm gonna go around the auction and find 2 or 3 different machines and show you kind of what to look for. This one I think is a 2018 Volvo 220 with 2,100 hours on it. So all in all, this machine's only 4 years old. It shouldn't have a whole lot of wear on it. It's got its cosmetic blemishes where, you know, it's been swung into a few things, but all in all, you're just kind of, I just look at them first. If you walk up to it and, you know, you can tell if it's been taken care of or not. This one looks like it's been taken care of. It's been used, no doubt. So first thing I do, I normally walk up here and I'm looking at the undercarriage sprockets. Sprockets look real good. You're looking down here at your rollers. So as your chains start wearing down, they're going to go up and your rollers will actually start cutting into your pins right here. So if you ever come across a machine where all that's worn down and shiny, you know your rails are wore out. So your pins and bushings are what your sprockets go into. And normally you can just reach under here and feel it. If you feel a lip, you'll know they're starting wearing down. Depending on how big that lip is how wore out the pins are. These can be turned and you can get more life out of them, but once they start wearing out, it's best just to replace them all. You can also just very easily check, you know, you can either rock them back and forth or stand up here, you know. These move a little bit. If they're wore out, they'll rock back and forth a 1/4 inch. I've seen up to a 1/2 inch before of just being wore out. So we'll walk around, just look at a couple more things. You can just look at your bucket pins, you know, if you got a lot of side-to-side play in there, stuff like that. You're just overall looking, your bucket's beat, smashed all to pieces, you know it's been, had a little bit of a harder life. So we'll start it up and just walk over and check everything else out. So first things first, hopefully it's got a good battery in it. The radio works. They had good taste in music too, so might be a halfway decent operator. Alright, so it's saying the coupler's unhooked, so I'm going to lock it real quick so it'll quit beeping at me. There we go. Alright, so I just kind of run it back and forth and you can just kind of see how smooth it is. If it's hicking up or anything, I mean, I just barely got this thing at like 2 notches of throttle. If you want to go show them the bucket, I'll kind of show them. What I normally do is put the bucket down on the ground and kind of pick up and go to side, and you can kind of see how much play you have left to right in your bucket. So it looks very minimum on the amount of wear they have there. Another thing I like to tell you to look at is you can sit right here, I'll show you, and just kind of boom down and just look and see what all your joints are doing. If you see a lot of movement in that pin right there, you know that they haven't greased it well and or have done a lot of bucket packing. And what that'll do is it'll just sit there and wear the bushing out of that, and you can just kind of swing left and right and just see how much it travels back and forth. It's got a little bit of play, but not bad. And probably the main one is look at your turntable down here. As I'm picking the machine up and down, you'll see if it's got any play in it. If that's rocking back and forth badly, I mean, they all move a little bit, but if it moves a lot, this machine's gonna have to be split in half. So let's walk up here and look at the engine. So I'll show you the cab real quick. You know, just see how in general everything is. You know, none of the buttons are ripped off. Panels are all here. I don't see where somebody's been all into the fuse panel, you know, plugging computers in. Just all in all looking at it. So like I said, this one's only 4 years old, 2,000 hours. Ought to be in pretty good shape. You know, got a bent rail here. Panel door ain't too bad. Got a little dent back there, but all in all, fairly decent machine. Come up here, look. I don't see any leaks. do that. You check the blow by, see if you got any smoke coming out. I don't see any. Antifreeze. I don't see any leaks on the motor. You know, some of this stuff can be power washed, but when you kind of look in there and see, that's still got dirt on it. It hasn't been cleaned. Any other things you can think of, Mike?
Now, one thing I noticed on the front track idlers on this thing, you had no movement in them at all, but if they've been used a lot, that front idler will go up and down.
Yeah, it'll. Yeah, I didn't mention on that.
Up and down that guide quite a bit, which makes it a little rocky digging.
Yeah.
But these are really tight.
So you can also look and see how close that idler is in, and that'll kind of tell you how wore out your linkages and everything. If that, you know, that's pushed way out to here, your undercarriage is wore out pretty good. But also it can be wore out and people will take a link out.
Yes, correct.
And that'll push your idler back in, but you'll still have a wore out undercarriage. So you almost need to know what the factory spec is for the amount of pads, and then you can count them and tell. I think it's in like 102 or something like that.
You can actually go on Trucker Track's website, put in this model serial or model number, and it'll tell you how many links are in the track.
So you can tell if
one's been taken out.
If you take out one link, that'll take up 6 inches of play, and that'll really push that idler back in. That's people that don't want to quite spend enough money to put a new undercarriage on it, but are tired of it falling off. So all in all, I'd give the Volvo 220 probably what?
This one here just needs a little bit of cosmetic work mechanically. It
Yeah.
seems to be in really good shape.
I'd give it probably 80-85%.
Yeah.
So we just happen to have a brand new Doosan sitting right here beside it. So it's really not too much to look at for being wrong on that. I mean, you look at your undercarriage on this and see the sprockets are just about the same. And obviously you're not going to have any wear and tear. I mean, look at that. And those are 24-inch pads, and that one has 32s. Just for giggles, let's just see what the bucket does on it when I
start her up.
Or you start it up, and I'll stay right here. Got me an operator today. Still got plastic on it. See, what was it got? About 10 hours on it.
I don't know where the iron meter's at. Brand new,
Still got the plastic on it. It's on there. I thought the hour meter used to be right there. Oh well, it's brand new. So you can see, even being brand new, it's still got a little side-to-side play.
hours.
15 hours. No scratches yet. So a lot of the times you can look and just kind of see in here if it's, you know, down here in Florida, they're around the salt a lot, and you'll see a little bit of rust down here in the bottom of the radiators and everything, just where that water gets in here, and it'll start corroding stuff pretty quickly. The machine I had was 2 years old. I spent 2 years in Florida, and it's got a little bit of corrosion down there, but all in all, it's not bad. So let's go find us a good jewel.
Shouldn't be hard to do around this joint.
And we'll show you just what all you can get yourself into. And here we have a prime example of why you shouldn't always buy something that's shiny with covered in paint. So this is a Deere 270. Just got up there. It's got somewhere between 8,000 and 9,000 hours. One of the digits is missing. I can't tell. But if you look right here at the undercarriage, you'll see that it's about clapped clean out. You'll see your sprockets are almost like knives. They got it banjo string tight, because if you look down here, you'll see what I was talking about. See how your rollers are starting to really eat down into your pins? It'd be shiny, but it leaks so much. Oh, here we go. You can see it right here. See how it's starting to wear your pins out? This undercarriage is trash. Yes, it's about clapped out. So they got this thing really tight. Probably keep the tracks on because they keep falling off. Look how far your idler's pushed out. This one over here. You can see it hadn't been tightened up, most likely adjusted wore out in it. But you can just overall look at it. It's got a PVC cap for a fuel cap. You know, it's all smashed in. It's had a hard life. They've never took the time once the teeth wore out. They just kept digging away with it. It's been broke. You can see right here, all this has been welded up. It's already broke again. Look at all the cracks. The thumb's been ripped off several times. It's got a plate right there. They've cracked the boom there. It's got plates all up here. That's been broke off. Not broke, but it's had some issues. But it looks nice. Lincoln Classic, I don't know what that is, but it might be for the seat. That's when you don't trust your gauge. I mean, the cab, it ain't horrible, but it's seen better days. Should we go up there and check flow by before we get the motor too hot? Let's go up there, see if she's got any blow by. If we can get up there. We've been repainted. No blow by. No blow by. That I could see. Might not be hot enough yet. I guess it works. Oh, got plexiglass screwed in. Missing the rail, all that good stuff. I'm gonna have the honors of wiggling the bucket around. I have a feeling it's gonna cling and clang a little bit. As you can tell, it's going to need all new pins and bushings in it. Look at the turntable. It literally takes a second for it to even grab. Let's see if it wobbles. I'm sure it's going to. It won't even boom up. Not too bad.
Not too bad. Wide open.
That's crazy. Like, look, the boom won't even come back when you stick it in.
I think somebody's got their money's worth out of this one.
You know what? And somebody shined it up real nice, and some poor soul's gonna buy it online, and
yeah,
it's gonna go overseas somewhere, and you know it looks good. Well, I don't say it looks good, but it don't look as bad from 40 feet away.
It'll take a good picture.
But when you start using it, it'll take a good picture, and when you start using it, you know, it's like one of those things. Do you But I'm just going to throw out a number. Say this thing goes for, you know, 45,000. Do you go down there and you know, buy that Volvo or something for, so for 100? Do you rather, you know, spend half the money on this and you're going to have problems for the rest of your life, or do you just go ahead and bite the bullet and get something nice?
The other thing I'd point out is that thing can go straight to work, and in 5 years you can still sell it for a good price.
You'll sell it, yeah, for probably more than this would be worth.
This is going to get sold for scrap probably eventually.
But it's just something to look out for, you know. I clearly didn't hit all the highlights, but I mean, that's a good general idea of what to look at. You know, you can just look at it and be like, what did this thing actually look like before they painted it? What are they covering up? Because if it was too nice, they wouldn't have spent all the money to paint it. You know, it just got the overhaul. It's sprayed all over, but it's been in the south too. I mean, it's been down by the coast. Look at it. You can just see the rust coming out of everywhere. They don't do that. How do you even open these? Do these swing out? They may have when they were new. They don't. I mean, you can't even, that's been rusted out. I'm sure if we looked in there, it would be all rusty. So, well, hopefully that helps with your next excavator purchase.